We are live. What is going on, everybody? I had to call an audible for this one because I got the information a little bit late. But now that we got that information, that has huge ramifications for the next steps with Terence Crawford and Spence Jr. Let's go ahead and switch on over.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And we started
let's get ready to
that was by accident. But let's go ahead and hit that with the let's get ready to rumble. And of course, we got to do this as well. Hashim with the let's go champ. What is going on? My man said Crawford 180 equals cap. Yo, listen, this is coming directly from the horse's mouth. It isn't somebody reporting from the bleachers. It's not a training partner or anything like that. You guys could go yourself and check for yourself. He posted on Twitter 6 hours ago, Terence Crawford's Twitter account. My man, as a matter of fact, let me see if I could. Well, actually, nah, I can't switch over just yet because I don't have it set up. But he posted 180. Ooh wee, 168, not too far out of reach. That's what he posted today. And he don't post on Twitter like that. He don't be posting. His last post after that, his little post that he was doing was September 12th. And he posted 180. Ooh wee, 168, not too far out of reach. What's going on, guys? Hold on. Let me pull you guys up real quick. Let's go ahead and close that out. Pull you guys up on here. Let's see. Here we go. All right, let's see what you guys are talking about. Hello. Nah, but bro, he said it himself, bro. He said it himself. That's why I had to call an audible on this. This live stream was supposed to be about Jermell Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez, and if he was ready, we was going to break that down. But now, we got to talk about this. What's going on, Adrian Does? What's up? Got myself a big jug of water. It tastes so good. David Morales is in here. What's going on, David Morales? What's up, brother? What's up? And Yuri, the editor, got to go to school. It's all good, bro. It's all good. I mean, while you going there, you could throw it on. You know, this is basically a podcast. You don't have to visually see it. If you want to listen to it, you could do that. But make sure you're paying attention in class. I'm saying make sure you're paying attention in class. I just checked his tweets. I see it now. He's still capped, though. My man still thinks that is not real, even though he said it himself. That's hilarious. I can't wait. You good, bub? Yo, man, I can't wait too, man. I can't wait too. What you mean you can't wait? Are you talking about the fight with Jermell Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez? I can't wait for that fight. But we need to talk about this fight right now. Sup, Ed? Got the Donkey Kong water bottle. Yo, yeah, man. the whole Donkey Kong water bottle, bro. Like, nah, but it's because it's easier. You put water in this, it just never ends. It really feels like it never ends. I'll be drinking throughout the whole day. It's like, it has, like, if I start drinking in the morning, by the nighttime, I have to start changing it out, like putting more water in. But yo, if Terence Crawford is 180 right now, and the Spence fight versus Terence Crawford fight, which still hasn't been announced, which is just driving me crazy. Why is it not announced when the fight is in December? The fight is scheduled to be in December. Unless something is happening where they're agreeing to the rematch, but they're agreeing to not do an immediate rematch, then I don't know what's going on. Because for him to be 180 now and go to 147, let's say he's trying to force it to 147, that's a lot of weight. He got to lose a lot of weight. Like a whole bunch. Like more than 30 pounds. Like that's not, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't see what's the point of going all the way up there to 180. And one thing that I would say is that express to us what his walking around weight is. And it's somewhere around 160 something, right? 167, 168. But you don't fight at the weight that you walk around in because you got to train and you got to do all these things. You got to train your cardiovascular system, everything. You got to train. And the training is going to make you cut weight by default, like no matter what you do. Obviously, you can eat a little bit more, but there's got to be a balance there, right? So you normally, you cut weight to make the weight. So he's probably going up to make 168. It sounded like his next fight is 168. What I think could be happening, and once again, this is just me thinking like out loud, is that Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford is not going to be an immediate rematch. It is not going to be in December. It will happen probably in the future, maybe at 154, where 154 is still on the table, but it just doesn't happen right now. The 147 came from his training partner. That's what the 147. So we don't know what's been going on behind the scenes. They may have said, okay, cool. You want 147 so bad. We're trying to do 154. Can we offer you this, Crawford? You want 147 for what reason? You want to be able to say that you were undisputed, it's undisputed versus undisputed, and also you jumped 3 weight classes? Is that what you want, Crawford? And he was probably like, yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. That's why I'm fighting at 140. I'll fight at 147. And they were like, all right, okay, cool. So how about this? Since Canelo is with us in the PBC, Jermel's with us in the PBC, you fight whoever wins from them two first. Then when you finish, you could come back down to 154 and fight Errol Spence. Or maybe Errol Spence go up to 168. Who knows? Whatever it is. And then y'all can fight. Or you go up, win the belts at 168, and then Errol come and try to take the belts at 168. Whatever the case may be. I think that they are allowing Terence Crawford to not have an immediate rematch. December is right around the corner, and we've got no announcement for this fight yet. And we know that there's a fight. This is probably the route that they're going. They're probably going the route of go fight Canelo, come back, and fight Errol Spence. And that way, weight won't be an issue for him. And he do all that. Because there's no way that he's pushing to go to 180 and he's planning to fight at 147. I can't see that. Like, what are you doing? It's in December. Like, you don't want to be focusing on cutting so much weight when you have to fight. And this is way above his walking around weight. So I'm very curious to see. But Bud Crawford at 180, what does that look like? I'm wondering if he looks weird or different, or like, what does he look like? He should take a picture like, 180, what's up? I want to see like how he actually looks, because that's going to be weird. I don't know about y'all, but that's going to be weird. New Crawford tweet, LOL. No, don't tell me he just tweeted right now. Don't tell me he just tweeted right now. Oh, no. No. Hold on. Or is that delayed? Is that delayed? Oh, my man just wrote. Okay, he just did tweet. He just tweeted right now. He wrote, I'm moving up to heavyweight. I'm lifting weights now. Y'all really gonna be mad. So, wait. So he's saying he moving up to heavyweight? That's what, heavyweight? That's crazy. And he's saying he's lifting weights now. Yeah, but you can't gain all that weight and muscle. You can't get, thank you for that, Hashim. You can't gain all that weight and muscle that quick. Like, you can't do that. You can't gain, like, that's just straight fat and water. Like, that's the only way you gain all that. You go from 165 to 180. You're not going 165 to 180 in this short amount of time from lifting weights. So I'm wondering if Crawford is just trolling right now, or if his account got hacked. That's what I'm wondering. Those two things: is he trolling or is his account hacked? Like, because what's going on? Like, what is happening right now? I'm moving up. Okay, I think the heavyweight thing, he put he put the laughing emojis and stuff. and he put the tongue and the eye cross emoji or whatever, the eye crazy eye emoji. So I think he's playing around with this one, but I think he's bumping off of this one to talk about, like, he's bumping off of this from what he said when he said he's 180 now. That's what I think he's doing. That's what I think he's doing. Crawford, you gotta tweet again and confirm. Do one more tweet, Crawford. I don't know if you're watching this. I highly doubt it, but if you are, do one more tweet and confirm and be like, nah, man, I'm 180 though, for real. No, I'm for real 180. Do it like that, like super serious. So that way we just know it's the truth. If Bud does do that, then we know Bud be watching the show. If all of a sudden we get the exact tweet that I just said, then we know that Bud be watching the show. He looked like Professor Clump. Who's Professor Clump? I don't know who Professor Clump is. Yo, Hashim, good call on getting that new tweet, like letting us know, because that was live on Boxing Fanatico Live, episode 59. We was able to look at that while he was doing it live. Tongue in cheek. Yeah, that's what he's doing right now. Trolling for sure. Game over. That's what I think. Nah, more muscle, more oxygen is needed. He'll be gassed by the fifth. Yeah, you can't just go in there, big and fat. You can't do that, man. You can't do that. Oh, Pro Clump is Nutty Professor. Oh, Nutty Professor. I know him as the Nutty Professor. I know. Okay, I do know the Nutty Professor, but I didn't think, like, I forgot. Come on, man. You know how long ago it was since I watched that movie? But yes, I do know about the Nutty Professor. Of course, man. Come on now. That's Eddie Murphy. We know. I think the 180 is real, LOL, but LOL, he's probably like 170-ish. No, I think he actually is 180. I think what he's saying now is a troll off of him being 180. He's like, yo, I'm 180. I'm about to be heavyweight. Like, I'm about to fight at heavyweight. I think that's him, he's trolling off of the fact that he's 180 now. That's what he's doing. He's trolling off the fact that he's 180 now. LOL. Yes, I've seen it. Do you play Fight Night? Yeah, of course. I mean, I haven't played Fight Night in a while. But yeah, I've Fight Night. I played Fight Night. That was one of the games that one of the rare games that I would play for years. Usually until the next iteration, I would literally stop playing the old one and play the new one. Fight Night Champion is the only one that it didn't tether me to the next one because they didn't make a next one. EA hasn't made another one. And I've been playing Fight Night. I played Fight Night for I don't know, I want to say 8 years, 7 years until I stopped and then started doing my channel and all that stuff, and then picking it back up to live stream and do Twitch and stuff like that. But yeah, I play Fight Night, just haven't played it in a while. I can't go play Fight Night after playing the game that shall not be mentioned. Yeah. I get you. I understand. It's like the new thing, right? So yeah, I get you. I'm not gonna give any thoughts, but I get it. Because I can't give any thoughts. It's a conflict of interest. Can't do that. Yo, by the way, I did not get a beta code for UFC 5, so I am struggling right now. I didn't get a beta code at all. I tried, I did everything I could. I think Marshall Mom posted 10 codes. He posted 10 codes on his Twitter at 5:30, and I was right there ready, and it's still every single code gone. And I didn't pick the first one, right? I picked the third one, right? 'Cause I was thinking I'm not gonna pick the first one because everybody's gonna try to write the first one in. I'm not gonna pick the last one because everybody's gonna try to think that because in a chronological order they're gonna go for the last one. I'm not gonna pick the middle one because everybody's gonna go for that one, thinking that everybody else is doing the other ones. I'm gonna go for the third one. It was still taken. That thing went out. That thing went rapid fire, gone. So yeah, no code for your boy for UFC 5. which is sad. It's sad. I'm not gonna be able to play it for the beta, even though they posted like there's a lot of things that's not in there. But I wanted to get a feel for it. Really, the responsiveness, especially with online play, is what I wanted to see. Is what I wanted to feel. Like, well, how does it feel? Like, if I press this button, how long does it take for that jab to come out? How are beta codes being distributed? Is it a closed beta? It is a closed beta, but like people like Marshall Mine, they're gonna give him beta codes and stuff so that he could give to other people. So Marshall Mine himself had 10 Xbox beta codes and 10 PlayStation beta codes, and then he just put them on his Twitter at 5:30. But they were gone. Like, the moment you typed them in, they were dying. I don't know what technology these people were using. It was gone. I was typing it in. I even used the PlayStation, the pad, right? I wasn't even doing this. I was pad, click, 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 click. Gone. I needed a bot to be able to take it and just put it there like instantly, but it was gone. It was gone quick. Did I see Sean Porter's pound for pound list? No. Where could I see that? I definitely would like to take a look at that. Let me see if I could. Sean Porter. Did he put it on his Twitter? Where did he put it? Or did he do it on his show? On the Porterway podcast. I don't see anything. Pound for pound list. Let's see. I want to look at the list. It was on his podcast. Okay, last episode. All right, but is there a place where I can go to just see the list? Because I don't want to have to watch the episode. I just want to look at the list right now. Who you think Tank fights next? It looks like it might be a rematch fight. Oh, one cool thing I was gonna talk that this reminded me. Leonard Ellerbe was interviewed by Fight Hype. He was interviewed by Sean from Fight Hype, and he said that we are preparing to fights for Tank that's against them guys that everybody's been asking for him to fight. We're setting up those fights. So once again, there's more breadcrumbs that's pushing this Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis fight. Now, not only is Bob Arum okay with doing this collaboration, not only is Bob Arum currently in a collaboration with the PBC when they fight with Edwin De Los Santos. He's open to doing that conversation with them. Now we're hearing, and also Tank's trainer, one of Tank's trainers, saying he wants Shakur Stevenson, and he wants Tank to fight, and that they shouldn't fight other people. They should fight each other. They shouldn't skip over whatever. And right now, those guys that's at 135, and Leonard Ellerbe said, "Yo, we comfortable at 135. We don't gotta go nowhere." The only person of those guys that's at 135 is Shakur Stevenson, unless Lomachenko comes out of nowhere. And it's possible. Lomachenko had that close fight with Devin Haney. So to a lot of people, that's they could spin it like, we really think he won against Devin Haney and all this stuff. And then they got Tank versus Lomachenko. I really, truly think that they're pushing for Tank to start fighting stars. If it's not Shakur, it's stars. Because he literally said, I wish I could get the clip. I'm going to get the clip for the next live stream to make sure. But he literally said, we ready to fight those guys. Those guys that the people are saying that those guys that people are saying that he should fight. That's the guys we ready to fight. And they haven't announced the rematch with Pitbull Cruz. They haven't announced with Isak Pitbull Cruz. They have not announced that rematch. So I don't know. I'm hopeful that he fights like a Lomachenko. You imagine Tank versus Lomachenko? That thing would do numbers. Because this is the thing. They're geniuses over there when it comes to marketing. The Mayweather strategy was put together with Mayweather, Al Heyman, and Leonard Ellerbe. Tank has Mayweather, Al Heyman, and Leonard Ellerbe. He has the squad. He has the genius squad that could put together the best case scenario for him to make money. Now that they crossed over that 1.2 million, I'm telling you, they want to keep their baseline up there. They want to stay in the range of 1.2 million. And I know that they know that an Isak Cruz fight or all these fights where you're just selling the knockout is not going to be enough. They got to put him in with other people. They got to put him in with people that could threaten his win. Right now it's like you got the knockout, but we also want to see, can you beat this guy that we think could beat you? Or can you beat this guy where we think is a 50-50? Now they might start implementing the Floyd Mayweather strategy and just hanging their hats on Tank's skill to keep him winning all these fights. That's my opinion on what's happening. Let me take a look at the chat right quick. It was on his pod. Yeah, man. I wish he could have put it on Twitter, man. If he would have put it on Twitter, we would have went down the list and I could have said, oh yeah, that makes sense. I don't agree with this. I agree with that. I don't agree with this. If anybody could list it, I don't know, how difficult that would be, but if anybody could list it and just put it in the chat, and then I could just, talk about it from there. Now that's something that y'all could do. I'm wondering how close it is to my pound for pound list. Is it close? Is it off a little bit? Like, how close was I to Sean Porter's pound for pound list? It's time for what? It's time for Tank. What do you mean it's time for Tank? I seen that as well. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you talking about the Leonard Ellerby interview? Yeah, he said it with Sean from Fight Hype. He literally said we ready to fight those guys that that everyone's saying that we should be fighting. It's a bounce off of the 1.2 million. It's a bounce off of the 1.2 million. If Spence gets KO'd at 154, Bud will avoid Spence at 160. Yeah, I said it. Bud will duck Spence at 160 and Bud stops Spence at 154. Bud is scared. What? Okay, this got to be a parody thing. If Spence get KO'd at 154, Bud will avoid. Oh, he's saying the next excuses. I get it. The next excuse is yes. They're gonna be like, but Spence only been at 154, 2 times, right? He started his career at 154, then went right to 147, and then he just went to 150. So he wasn't ready at 154. But Buzz should fight him one more time at 154, or they'll say he's actually still needs to go up even more to 160. It'll never end. It'll never end. I'm telling you. After the fight, everybody gave him props. Everybody said no excuses. 2 days late, not even 2 days later, less than 24 hours later, it was all excuses. It was just a bunch of excuses. And it was like, maybe it's just me, but don't he look tired? Maybe it's just me, but don't he look different? No, he didn't look different. He didn't look tired. We did the picture comparison, and that's how he looked in the fight with Ugas. That's how he looked in other fights. We even looked at a picture of him in the press conference and him in the walkouts from before the car accident in the Danny Garcia fight, not the Danny Garcia fight, the Sean Porter fight, and he looked just like this. He looked the same. Everything looked the same. No difference. The same. He looks the same, but he looked tired. His face looked tired, and he fought differently, according to a lot of Errol Spence fans. Oddly enough, it was just Errol Spence fans that somehow saw this, that nobody else was able to see it. I don't know how they have those eagle eyes to detect what's going on, but it's pretty impressive. Collectively, as a group, they all saw the same thing, and now they feel that he should move up to 154 to fight Terence Crawford, and then he would win that fight. And if Terence Crawford, even though he beat him up like pillar to post, and forget about that. If he doesn't fight him at 154, Terence Crawford is obviously ducking Spence at 154. I'd love to see Boots and Stanionis. Me too. I think that would be a really good fight. I think Boots and Spence would be a good fight. I don't know why nobody's talking about that. Boots and Spence could be a good barometer for if Boots is good enough to fight Terence Crawford. So I think a Boots and Spence fight would make a lot of sense. But that would make more sense than even Boots versus Crawford, in my opinion, because Boots is not even at the level of where Spence and Crawford were until after the fight. Now that Spence lost to Crawford, it makes more sense for Boots to go up against Spence, in my opinion, because one, it either catapults Boots, right, and then you got another contender for Crawford that will make good money, or it rejuvenates the Errol Spence career, and then he could start doing different things and getting back in there, and then you could be like, oh, that was a fluke night. Who knows? But to me, it makes more sense to do Boots versus Spence. But nobody gonna be calling for that because they just want Crawford to do everything. They just want Crawford to fight Boots. They just want Crawford to fight Errol Spence at 154. They just want Crawford to do it. They don't want Spence to do it. They just want Crawford to do it. We got to keep speaking that fight into existence. ASAP TV. Yes, 100%. That's why I keep talking. That's why I keep talking about it, because I want that fight to happen so badly. But it's also, like there's things now, barriers that were there before that aren't there now. Right? Leonard Ellerby used to say, like, we don't need to fight them guys. We don't need to fight them guys. He would say it all the time. We don't need to fight them guys. We could fight over here. We could fight on our stable. We could fight right here at the PBC. We don't got to go outside. We could fight within the Mayweather promotion. We don't got to go further than that, right? Because it's Tank, right? And Tank's the man. Tank's that guy. So we could do whatever we want with Tank. And on the flip side, Bob Arum was like, I'm not gambling. I'm not sending Shakur to fight no Tank. We don't gamble over here and all this stuff. Now, Bob Arum is not saying that. And maybe it was from the fallout after the whole Lomachenko situation and Lomachenko losing to Devin Haney, and then now Devin Haney is no longer with Top Rank. I think Bob Arum is now kind of putting some trust into Shakur to improve his Top Rank brand and stable, even though his brand and stable is good, right? It's Top Rank, but he's improving it. He wants to use like this warfare where he just sends out his best guy, and that kind of highlights that he has the best fighters in the world because he's putting his confidence behind Shakur Stevenson. So now he's open to doing those negotiations with PBC and Al Heyman and Floyd Mayweather. And now it sounds like Leonard Ellerby is open to having Tank fight those big fights. So if they're open to it, we getting closer to it. And then we also had Tank's trainer talking about he wants Shakur and Devin Haney for Tank, right? But it looks like Shakur is more plausible because Shakur is at 135, Tank's at 135. Tank, it might if Devin Haney does that fight with Regis Prograis, Tank gets elevated to WBA Super, and then if Shakur wants the belt, the opportunity for the belt, he could go for Tank's WBA Super, and it's just perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. It could be for a world title. They could start working towards undisputed if they want. I think it's a perfect setup for Tank versus Shakur in 2024. I feel bad for Shakur. Nobody want to fight him. Ball out, missing. Well, this guy's fighting him, De Los Santos. De Los Santos is decent. It's a decent fight. I would have preferred the Frank Martin fight. I'm not going to lie. Because it's Frank Martin, right? Like, I wanted to see how Shakur would deal with that type of a fighting style. But I knew Shakur would, like, dominate. But I wanted to see how well he was going to dominate and little things that he was going to do to nullify certain things that Frank Martin does. But De Los Santos is a power puncher. So I want to see how, and he's a slick power puncher. So he kind of reminds me of Joan Guzman. He's kind of like almost exactly like Joan Guzman. So I'm curious to see how, with a slick power puncher, a slick power counter puncher, how does Shakur what does Shakur do? Like, what are the tools that he applies to nullify his offense and make sure that his offense is powerful? Oh, we got King Juice in the house. What's going on, brother? Yo, did you get a beta code for UFC 5? That's what I want. Are you playing the UFC 5 beta because I didn't get a code, man. I didn't get a code, man. I tried. My man said no. Did you even try though? Did you even try? Or you don't even care about that game. Dark gotta. Oh my gosh, that man get everything. Dark side get everything. Yes, I was early. Damn, man, me too, man. Like once they dropped the thing, because I was in their Discord. Once they dropped it, I signed up. But I'm sure that they only putting a few people in there. So if they're only putting a few people in there, the chances are really low that you'll get in anyways. Except if you're dark side. That man get in every single beta. I never seen a beta code that he didn't get. I've never seen a beta code that he didn't receive. My man's in every beta ever put out. He's in it. It's time for Tank to start fighting the top names for sure. Yeah, it's time because you do the 1.2 million with Ryan Garcia. Anybody else that you gonna just go down. You're going to go down. So you might as well start fighting the top names and actually apply the Floyd Mayweather strategy. And when you apply the Floyd Mayweather strategy, which is fight the top fighters in the division, you then start to actually hold on to those pay-per-view numbers. And you could keep going. And that's important because it's almost like you have a short amount of time to capitalize on your pay-per-view numbers, or it could just all go away. Because even Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, look what happened there. It took so long. It was such a long time that the subsequent fights didn't do as well. You have a really short amount of time to capitalize on that million pay-per-view buy. If you hit that million number, the next fight is critical so that you could hit that million again. And then keep doing it. That's what Floyd did. After he did the Oscar De La Hoya, he ain't do under a million again until he fought Andre Berto, which was after Manny Pacquiao. So he went Ricky Hatton, million. Juan Manuel Marquez, million. Sugar Shane Mosley, million. He was million, or million plus, right? And then he came back to boxing and did the 4 point something million pay-per-views with Conor McGregor. Boots versus Crawford is a crazy matchup. It's almost a mirror match. I'm Team Bud all the way, but Boots is looking special. Almost a mirror. Yeah. It's close because they both switch hitters or whatever, but I don't know. I think Boots reminds me more of like a slicker fighter. Bud is not really so much slick. He's not like a slick fighter. Bud is more like really accurate, could create great leverage. He's kind of rough, but with boxing IQ. It's a very peculiar style. It's a very aggressive, intelligent style. That's what Bud Crawford has. While Boots is more like he'll knock you out and everything, but it's all behind like this slick, really smooth kind of style that he has. So I don't know, man. It'll definitely be a very interesting thing to see how Bud Crawford navigates the whole Boots and how he fights. That's gonna be definitely interesting. Stop mentioning what bum with the goats. What bum? Stop mentioning what bum with the goats. Who? Lomachenko? Is that what you talking about? I think the last one they opened up at some point, so maybe that happens. I think T, the last one. What you mean? You think T, the last one, they opened up at some point, so maybe that happens. The T? What's T? I'm confused. I don't know what that means. He can't now. Everyone is booked unless he fights Tio at 140. He can't fight who? Who you talking about? Oh, you saying I think the beta last one they opened. Oh, so you're referring to at some point. So maybe that happens. Oh, you're saying that maybe they open another beta? Okay. Maybe they open another beta and they bring in more people. That's possible. Yeah, that's possible. It's either that or I got to wait till October, whatever. And then it comes out right when Spider-Man comes out. Like, that's crazy, man. Spider-Man 2, that's a tough one to not play, you know what I'm saying? At least Spider-Man 2 is not competitive, so you can play it on your own time. But it's like, damn, Spider-Man 2, I want to play Spider-Man 2. Boots versus Thurman or no fight. Boots versus Thurman? Maybe Pac-Man will beat him up. Maybe Pac-Man will beat who up? Thurman or Boots? Or are you saying don't mention Boots? Oh, is that what you're saying? Don't mention Boots with the GOATs? But that's what I'm trying to say. Oh, here we go. Boots a bum. He fought no names. No, I 100%. I'm not saying he's a bum, right? He's not a bum. Like what he did with Villa in the last fight is kind of crazy. But he's definitely not with the Errol Spences and the Terence Crawfords. But because Errol Spence lost, in my mind, strategically, it makes sense to like, okay, Errol, you lost. So now we give Boots this opportunity. You could beat Boots, and then that's like a name that you could say, oh, like this is an up-and-comer that I took out. Or it allows for Boots to shock the world and beat an Errol Spence, and then now Boots got all this notoriety. I just think as a business move, since you want to squeeze out as much as you possibly can from Errol Spence, even though Errol Spence just lost, as a business move, I think it makes sense for him to fight for Errol Spence and Boots to fight each other. Just for the PBC. I'm talking about the finances for the PBC. Like if they want to do that, just not on their level. No, I get it. I know it's either, but you're not on someone's level until you're there, and sometimes we don't know because they haven't fought that person on that level. You get what I'm saying? Like we didn't know, or a lot of people I knew, right? When Shakur Stevenson, where Shakur Stevenson lies until he fought like the Oscar Valdez and the Jamel Herrings, and then everybody's oh, he's that good, and now he's like world champion good, right? So we don't know until we know sometimes. And with Boots, you got to put him up to the test. Can he beat an Errol Spence that just came off of a devastating loss to Terence Crawford? That is a huge barometer. If he beats him, then the Terence Crawford fight versus Boots, that becomes way more lucrative, makes so much sense, and then people will start pushing for that fight. Everybody who like Errol Spence will definitely push for Boots versus Terence Crawford. Only person that's available to fight is Tio. Other than that, he ain't reaching 7,000. He's not. What, Tank is not reaching 7,000 pay-per-view buys? You saying Tank won't reach 7,000? 7,000? Or you trying to say 700,000? Oh wait, no, you're saying 7,000K? No, you're trying to say 700,000. Okay, he won't reach 700,000. Okay, cool. That I kind of agree. However, I do feel that if he fights a Tio, he could reach that number. If he fights a Shakur, he could reach that number. If he fights a Lomachenko, he could reach that number. If he fights Devin Haney, he could reach that number. I think he could hit 1 million or get close to 1 million. Let's not forget. Like, you could say whatever you want about Ryan Garcia. That dude was social media famous. He brought the YouTube viewers to the pay-per-view. But that's besides the point. I think you could get him close to like 800,000, 900,000, 1 million if he fights those guys. None of them are open but Tio. That is true. And you know what? It could be a Tio fight because he does fight at 140 sometimes as well. He's fought at 140 before. So it could be a Tio fight. I know Tio is open to it because Tio is not making much money off of his fights. Even though he's really good, he's not making much money. I think that would be an amazing fight. Maybe, and I do know that they did call out Tio before he fought Josh Taylor. They did call him out. So they might be setting up that fight. We're just going to have to wait and see, though. I go to certain channels that stream their reaction to the Crawford and Spence fight. Love to see their energy change from the start of the fight to the later. I'll bet you. Wait a second. So you like to go to their live stream and watch them just start being hyped in the beginning and then start going like, I don't know what's happened. I've never seen him like this. I've never seen Spence like this. Something's wrong with Spence. I want to take all the credit away from Crawford. Something's wrong with Spence. He doesn't look like this. He never looks like this. But he's throwing the same punch. I know, but he doesn't look like that. But you just said the same thing again. You didn't tell me anything back on how, you know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't explain to me why he don't look like that. Because he's getting beat up. So he doesn't look like that. Oh, all right. So you just got nothing to say. You just going to say he doesn't look like that? And you just going to ride that to the sunset? Yeah. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say Bud is outsmarting him. What I'm going to say is he never looks like that. He doesn't look like that. That's basically, I've seen, I'm not going to pry. I watched some live streams. I watched some live streams too, and it was basically that. It was basically a lot of people saying, and of course, all you got to do is go to the, like the. It sounded like somebody was opening the door. All you got to do is go to the points of the videos where the fight is like in the third, fourth round or whatever, and then. And then that's when they're like, yo, this is weird, man. Everything's so weird. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything, he don't look like that. Like, something's off with him. And it's like, yeah, man, something's off. He's getting punched by Terence Crawford. He's getting punched in the face by Terence Crawford. That's what's off. That's what's off. He's getting timed by Terence Crawford. That's what's off. So funny. So funny. That's why I'm saying T.O. is the only one open. Yeah, it's true. Because Shakur also has the De Los Santos fight. Yeah, but I'm thinking about next year, 2024. I think there's a big, huge possibility that Shakur versus Tank can happen in 2024. But what do you guys think now that if Bud is at 180 right now? What do you guys think is going to happen next? Do you think he's going to fight Errol Spence still as an immediate rematch at 154? Or do you think that this is because they've agreed to delay and allow Bud Crawford to fight the winner of Jermell Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez, which is happening next week? Can y'all believe that? We were so hyped for this fight. We was going crazy for this fight. And now it's happening in almost like a week and a half. We're gonna get the fight in a week and a half. Crazy. They said Bud beat bums, but look what happened. LOL, look at the skills. Yeah, I know. That's why I said, like, that's why I'm telling y'all when people, Poe in the house, what's going on, brother? My fault. I didn't see that. What's going on, brother? But when people are saying like, they said Errol Spence was going to beat him at 147. Why would anybody pay attention to these people saying that he's going to beat him at 154 if they were wrong at 147? They were wrong. They were deactivating the Twitter's accounts, and they didn't come back until the rematch was they didn't come back until the rematch was activated. Then they came back, and now they're doing the rally cries for 154. But it's like, bro, I don't want to hear it. You said that he was going to lose at 147. Now you saying that he's going to win at 154. Like, you say he was going to win at 147, and he didn't. So why should I listen to you about him winning at 154? Well, he's probably not. One weight division is not going to change the skills that Terence Crawford. My man Terence Crawford weighs 180 right now. He's sitting around at 180. Nah, I don't think so. What I think is gonna happen too, I think it's just gonna go. He's just gonna go straight to the winner, so that they could give him that undisputed versus undisputed situation, and he could be a 3-division jump, because I think he wants all of those accolades attached to it. 3-division jump, undisputed versus undisputed. See what happened. I think that would make more sense, and then they just delay the whole Errol Spence fight. Anthony Murchison, how you doing? How you doing, brother? We love to have you here. Tay Hefe, what's up, bro? What's up? He said he be watching the live stream. Fan in boxing went silent from rounds 12. He went silent? I've not seen this person, but he went silent. He didn't even talk. So how's his live stream? What did he do for his live stream? He was just like this for his whole live stream. I can't imagine that. The one I saw, they were trying to coach Errol. My man said, he said they were trying to coach Errol, walk him down behind a high guard. I'm like, y'all know it's not that easy, right? And others are like, oh, that's a slip. Walk him down behind a high guard. Come on. Because the thing is, Errol Spence, this is so funny. Errol Spence gets in with the jab, which is actually really technically sound to use your jab to get on the inside. The thing is, he needed more things to get on the inside. Not just that. He needed to add more feints. He needed to do stuff to throw Terence Crawford off. He wasn't throwing Terence Crawford off. So Terence Crawford knew, okay, your jab's coming. You're trying to get on the inside. You got to do stuff where you do jabs where you just throw it away. Here's a throwaway jab. You have to keep them guessing in so many. You have to put not just a 50-50 in their minds. You got to put like 100 different options that they have to choose from at all times, right? And then they have to come up. So it wasn't. So if he would have done the high guard thing, Terence Crawford would have figured some other thing out for that. But if he would have gave him so many different things, so many different looks, so many different ways of getting in, then it may be a different story. It would be harder for Crawford. But he didn't do that because he only had the one and he didn't know what else to do. He never adjusted the entire fight. My man said, walk him down behind a high guard, bro. Like, what are you doing? Come on, Errol. Come on. Do this, man. Not enough buzz for the fight. I genuinely think people think Jermell shouldn't be in the ring with Canelo for whatever reason. Yeah, there isn't that much buzz for the fight. Even this Boxing Fanatico, I wanted to do a Boxing Fanatico episode on the Canelo versus Jermell fight. I don't think that fight is going to crack, I don't think that fight is going to crack a high number. I think it might do like 700,000. And by high number, I mean high number for like Canelo. I think this might do 700,000 or something like that. There is definitely not a big buzz. There was definitely a much bigger buzz for Crawford versus Errol Spence. There was 100% a bigger buzz for Crawford versus Errol Spence. So I don't know like what the numbers are going to be. I'm looking at the all accesses and they're doing over 1 million views, which is good. But I don't know if it's good enough because I think Terence Crawford and Errol Spence was doing more than that. They were doing like 3-point-something million views or something like that, or 2-point-something million. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I really hope that I really hope that it does well, because that would suck for Canelo to come off of the Ryder fight that did really low numbers, and then come off of another fight that does low numbers. Man, that won't be good, man. That wouldn't be good for Canelo. And we want Canelo to still be making money, because then fighting him is a super fight. Crawford versus Canelo will be a super fight if Canelo is the face of boxing and making a lot of money. So I don't know, man. Or maybe Tank's the face of boxing now. Right? Fanon was quivering every time he spoke. Because this is what happens when you put all your eggs in a fighter and you have like you're just choosing the fighter because of you feel that he's part of who you are. So I'm picking this fighter and I'm going to pretend that he's better than this guy because of wishful thinking. But when it actually comes to it's like sometimes in these situations, these guys don't really want the fight to ever happen. They want to always be able to say that this guy is better than this guy. I'm sure that a lot of people, when the fight finally got signed and delivered, were kind of worried. Like, oh, I didn't really want this fight to happen. I just always wanted to talk about how he's better. And now the fight is going to prove one way or the other. So, and that comes from probably the lack of confidence in the fact that you think Errol Spence is going to be. But Because really, you weren't picking Errol Spence from any type of analytical thing or any type of like breakdown. You were just picking Spence because you like Spence. I will never pick a fighter because I like a fighter. Me saying that Shakur is going to beat Jamel Herring is not because I like Shakur and that Shakur is my favorite fighter. It's because I know that he's going to beat Jamel Herring. It's because I know that he's going to beat Oscar Valdez. It's not because I like a fighter or I don't like a fighter. I make sure that every time I predict, every time I make a prediction is because I'm looking at the breakdown of both. And that way, I'm also not attached to whoever wins or loses. I predicted that Loma was going to beat Devin Haney. When Devin Haney beat Loma, I was able to come on here and be like, Devin Haney really beat him. And it was a close fight, so we can't say it's a robbery. I don't have to front and pretend and do all these things and jump through hoops and stuff because I'm so gun-ho for Lomachenko, because I'm not. I could just be like, okay, Devin Haney beat the dude. Like, now this is the guy. He's better. He won. I could just do that very easily. Because I never attached myself to Loma. I never attached myself to Devin Haney. I don't attach myself to any of these fighters. When you attach yourself where it's like he's literally half your body, he's part of you, there's nothing you could do, man. There's nothing you could do. You're going to suffer. You're going to be suffering watching boxing. I hope they put X stuff like this on that boxing game. We can't talk about, have YouTube is talking about fighters on podcast. I don't even know what you're talking about. I thought I was going to get commentary that fight. Thought my man was like, let me pull up why is the timer still going? It's still going. Why is it still moving forward? He's not moving. Canelo just not the same fighter now, if we're being honest. I think he's still the same fighter. He lost to Bivol because Bivol is super skilled. I think people didn't give Bivol the credit that he deserved because he wasn't a popular fighter. And I think Ryder was just one of those fights where, he didn't fight to his best of his ability, right? He's had other fights like the Ryder fight. He's had other fights with what's that guy's name that he fought? Man, I forgot. The guy that he dropped. He dropped him in the fight. Well, he's had fights like that. Arislandi Lara was a fight that he looked like he had trouble. Gennady Golovkin the first time around, he looked like. I feel like just because he looked like he had trouble with a fighter, don't mean that he's washed up. We got to see him. If he consistently keeps doing that, then there's a problem. But we got to see him in this fight. There's also times where fighters that are at the top of the mountain, they don't have motivation to like focus so much when it's somebody that they feel that is supposed to be an easy fight. That happens to a lot of fighters. But we'll see what happens when he's fighting Jermell Charlo, especially coming off of that Ryder fight. I think he's going to win that fight. I think he's going to do really well and he's going to win that fight. And now he has a nerve to push his narrative for the rematch. How quickly they forget. This is what I'm trying to say, bro. They left and they came back. The Spence fans left and came back once the rematch was activated. And now, like, they're paying attention to everything Bud does because they want the get back. That's what they want, the get back. And it's going to feel painful. If they ever do the 154 fight, it's going to be painful because Bud is going to do him worse. I'm telling you, it's going to be worse. And everybody's going to be shocked. And all the Spence fans are going to be shocked. They're going to be like, how did this happen? And then they're going to say, but no excuses. Crawford is just the better man. He's definitely the better man. And then within 24 hours, we're going to get like 18 excuses. Bud versus Boots is bigger than Charlo, Canelo, Spence, all of them in Philly, all of them Philly. You think Bud versus Boots is bigger than Charlo, Canelo? I don't think Bud versus Boots is bigger than Charlo versus Canelo. I don't think so. I think it's Charlo versus Canelo will be bigger to me than Boots versus Bud. We don't know how popular Bud Crawford really is. We really don't know how popular he is because his popularity spiked after the fight with Errol Spence. So we need to see him in a fight to see like how much he generates, because he's probably like a big deal now, especially because of YouTube. From YouTube, if I talk about Crawford, there's more views. There's more interest in that. If I talk about Canelo and Charlo, there's less interest. So even through the algorithm itself and how it feeds, which based off of people's general interest, it looks like Bud's got all this buzz behind him. Bud has all this buzz behind him. But I want to see how that translates to views. Some of these YouTube channels are just downright nasty when it comes to Bud, man. I honestly don't get the hate. Me either. It's because it's just Team PBC, right? And Bud has always been anti-PBC because he's the antagonist for Errol Spence. And just because he's Errol Spence's antagonist, they don't like Bud Crawford. That's all it is. This man slayed because he wouldn't leave Top Rank. Yeah. But he left Top Rank. He did the right thing. He did. I think he should have left Top Rank because it was making it hard for Spence versus Crawford to happen. So him leaving was actually smart. I think some YouTube channels push Spence in the area because they know there are more Spence fans equals more super chats. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You also trap yourself in an echo chamber, right? When you do that as you know that you're starting to build a bunch of fans that are like diehard Spence fans. And then now you have to be even more diehard Spence fan to appease them. So then your channel just becomes super direct, straight Spence, like positive only for Spence. And that starts to like just mold your whole channel because you get more, and because you're doubling down, you get more Spence fans watching it. And then now you're stuck. You can't do anything. There is no way you could say that Spence, he's not better than him. You can't put him down in any way because your whole fan base will go against you. Because really they're only looking at you because you're validating the feelings that they have. And then you're re-establishing those feelings by doubling down, tripling down on your sentiments for Errol Spence Jr. So they're basically trapped. They're trapped. They culminated, they cultivated an entire fandom, and they're trapped. You can't do anything. There's nothing that you can do. There's nothing that you can do. It's like if a relationship person was talking about what happened not too long ago with the YouTuber that he kind of went viral because he was married and then he cheated on his wife, but his whole channel was about, relationships are super important. How to keep a marriage, what the things you could do to this and that. Like he was teaching people how to be happy in a marriage and all this stuff. So he cultivated an entire group that appreciates that concept of like working towards a marriage, working hard at a marriage. And then he like cheating with all these different girls and he got blasted on the news and he lost his fans because that's the fans he built. And he did the complete opposite. So the problem with building fans off of your channel, sure, you're going to get a boost and all that. Like my channel is going to grow much slower than a fandom channel because it'll feel like there'll be moments where it's like, I'm talking good about Spence or I'm talking good about Boots, but then I'm talking good about Bud and I'm talking good about Shakur and then I'm talking good about Tyson Fury and talking good about Deontay Wilder. So I'm never going to get anybody who's super energized. I'm just going to get people that come in and they're unbiased. Like I'm going to get more unbiased people. I might get biased people come and try to argue with me, but mainly I'm going to get people that's like, oh, I appreciate this because we get both sides or whatever. It's not, crazy one side or the other. But how many people are like that? Most people are energized behind a fandom. It's not that much. So it's going to create a slower growth, obviously. But at least I know that I have the freedom to actually be and talk the way I feel about boxing as opposed to being trapped just to appease my viewers. And I don't have to worry like, oh, I'm gonna lose my subscribers. They're gonna start unsubscribing because I'm saying that this guy is not good or this guy's not good, even though they're really just not good. But I can't say that because I've been saying that they're good for like 3 years. He don't even believe what he pushes, man. It knows is more super chats and pushing Spence. Yeah. See, I don't care about that stuff. I'd rather grow my channel off of like being straightforward and being honest. That way I could feel comfortable and I know that I could just talk how I want to talk and not feel like I'm trapped behind my audience. I never liked feeling like that. And they make it so easy for you to pick against them. The amount of hate they have for him just makes me root for him more. Yeah, that's true. Sometimes that energizes you in the opposite direction. What do you think about the statements made by Canelo's former sparring partner? What was the statements that he made? I didn't see it. Yeah, those are fights he should have lost. Do not know what you guys are talking about. About him gassing out a lot. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I think if he's gassing out a lot in training, that's not a good sign. But I need to know more context because training, sparring, there's a lot of different things that people do to improve cardio. And maybe, maybe he was doing other things and he's tired when he spars. Who knows? Maybe he's sparring multiple opponents and they're rotating. We don't know. Canelo's still solid. I don't think he's what he was 2 years ago, but he's still a pound-for-pound guy. Bivol was just better. Yeah, Bivol was better. That's where I sit. Nah, Boost has absolutely no name recognition with the casual fan. Yeah, I know he doesn't. He doesn't. So that I wouldn't say that fight would be better. Wow, what's that channel that would be a good? Why? They said it up there. I think they said fandom. Fannin. There you go. Fannin was quivering. I guess he's one of those Errol Spence fans. I always get a good laugh at those life coach YouTubers. Yeah, they're life coaches, and then all of a sudden they literally do the exact opposite that they built their entire channel behind. It's like, bro, you have to whatever thoughts you have that you want to do, you have to give that up. Give it up. Because money, like your business and everything, that's in jeopardy. If you do something that's the complete opposite of what you know what I'm saying? It's like a flat earther coming on here and then just saying, yo, you know what? The earth is round. You're losing all your subscribers. You're losing all your subscribers. It don't matter if now you're right. You're losing all your subscribers. You're going to lose all your subscribers. So never pigeonhole yourself just because you're getting high off of the viewership, high off of the subscriber count. Don't pigeonhole yourself. Never do that. Never do that. They ain't got the answers. This is why I watch Fanatico. Unbiased and knowledgeable. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Nah, not the fanboys. The dude that was a coach but got exposed. Oh, I don't know his channel. I don't know. He was on the news, though. It's a dude that he basically talks about relationship advice. Just put YouTuber on Google. Put relationship YouTuber exposed or whatever, and you'll see it. But I don't know his name because I only knew of him from the news outlets that were talking about him or whatever. And the fact that he, like TMZ, I think people picked it up. Like he's a big YouTuber in that relationship advice space. And they picked it up and like he was cheating with multiple women. It was crazy. And they even had like a video where he was with his wife and his wife was like, oh, I forgive him, so you guys should forgive him. And it's like, do you forgive him? Or it's just this like that this is like the money empire is about to crumble and you just don't want that to happen. I don't know. I can't say, man. I'm not there. But all I know is my point is you can't build a whole channel and then have like thoughts of doing something else in behind your mind, or you're not being truthful to yourself. Because then you're pigeonholed and you have to ride that. And I think that creates a lot of mental anxiety and stuff because you're pigeonholing yourself to this one thing. You shouldn't do that. Like when I talked about boxing video games, it's because I love boxing video games. So I can never get burnt out on boxing video game talk because that's what I love. So I'm never going to do a thing just to grab onto viewership or whatever. I'm going to do a thing. I'm going to try to do the thing to the best of my ability and hope that even if there's not an audience there, I start slowly creating an audience little by little. Like that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to ride the understanding of YouTube that I have from all the years that I've done it, the how comfortable I am on camera from years of doing it, and then hoping that that's going to allow to breathe life into even a new genre or whatever if I'm doing it for the first time. Because when I was talking about boxing and video games, boxing video game content did not get views at that time. It was really low viewership, and especially if you're not like even playing Fight Night, that was the most you could get, and it wasn't that many views, right? It was like 1,000 or whatever max from like the best guys, right? Or if they really got lucky, they'll get like 10 or 20,000 or 30,000 like off of one kind of crazy video that had to do with like some kind of whatever argument or something like that. But talking about a new boxing game, that wasn't like super, super, super big. So when I started talking about it, it just started growing, and now there's like a big, group of people that appreciate boxing video games and all that, and they're out there, they exist now, and they're everywhere. But it wasn't like that before. So as long as you stay true to yourself and you just keep going and keep grinding, I feel like eventually you will grow your channel and keep your mental sanity and all that stuff. I think you're talking about Derek Jang, Fanatico. There you go. Probably him. Derek Jackson. It's probably that guy. 20-year-old Roy Jones versus 30-year-old Floyd at 154. What happens? That's tough because Roy Jones is one of those incredibly, like, we will probably never see another Roy Jones. Like, there's people that say, oh, that guy looks like Roy Jones. But we will probably never see a Roy Jones in the way how athletic he was ever again. Ever again. So it's a tough one. But then again, Floyd is just a master adapting fighter. Maybe Floyd adapts early enough and he's able to overcome. It's a hard pick. I would say Floyd will probably beat him. But it would be a very difficult fight. One fight that would kind of show me that Floyd is capable is his fight with Emmanuel Augustus. That fight will kind of show me, because he was awkward and Floyd still, within the awkwardness and within the weird angles and all that stuff, was able to control it and get the win. And I think that with how crazy awkward Roy Jones is, snappy but awkward in the sense that it's untraditional, like non-traditional stuff that he's doing, Floyd will start to pick up on things and he'll start punishing him. So I think Floyd would win that if I had to. At 154, I think it's tough, but I think Floyd would win it because Roy Jones, 20 years old. You saying 20? That's too young for a 30-year-old Floyd. I think he would be able to do it. I think he'll be able to do it. All right, we're going to go ahead and end the stream here. We went about 7 minutes over. Just a little bit. We were 7 minutes over. That's it. But we're going to end the stream here. Of course, we're going to be live again on Friday, every Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern Time to 8 p.m. Eastern Time for 1 hour. Let me hit you guys with a Let's Get Ready to Rumble real quick before we get out of here. And some horns. But yes, every Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, don't forget to tune in. We're going to keep talking boxing, especially when news comes in. Like today, the news came in that my man Terence Crawford is sitting at 180 pounds right now. That's wild. That's wild. So he's probably setting up for a 168 division showdown, and I'm here for it. I don't mind if he does that and then fights Errol Spence at a later time. I think that makes more sense. Let Errol Spence kind of build himself back up after that loss so that the rematch is more viable. I don't think the rematch is viable if they just go immediately right away and start fighting each other. All right. Anyways, until the next one, guys, until Friday, peace out. Where's the end button? Here, right here. Peace out.